Hey, Silvio Perez here, and welcome to today's live stream video. I've been having a lot of fun with these whiteboard videos. Hope you guys are liking them too. We had a live stream video last week, and I wanted to do another one this week for you. And I wanted to make a quick video today about the truth about paid search advertising. I want to get into the good and the bad, just things that I've noticed with my experience managing paid search campaigns. I currently manage over $300,000 a month in digital advertising, so I've seen a lot of good things from it, and I've also seen a lot of bad things. And specifically when it comes to paid advertising and paid search, there's a lot of good things about it, right? Number one is we all want to show up at the top of Google when our dream prospect and customers are searching for our product and service. So really the biggest benefit of paid search that I've personally experienced, and maybe you've experienced it yourself too, is the quality of leads is extremely high. When you run ads on paid search, there's something in your favor, and that's intention. So there's extreme intention behind that lead because somebody actually went to Google, they searched for a solution to their problem, and you showed up. So the intention behind paid search is really what drives those really high quality leads, which is what we all love and want. If you've ever ran ads on like social channels like Facebook, maybe you've noticed that you can get a lot more leads for a lot less cost depending on the industry you're in, but the quality of lead isn't as good as compared to Google. And the biggest reason why is just because of intention. On Facebook, you target based on interest. With search advertising, you're targeting based on intention. So that's really the key distinction between the two. So that's the number one benefit of paid search is, you're showing up. The battle is half won. They already know they have a problem, and you don't have to convince them. They're coming for a solution, and all you have to do is show up. By the way, I see a couple of you joining live right now. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. Now, the next thing that's really awesome with paid search is, and really most, it's just completely trackable. So you know where your money is going. You know the keywords that are driving revenue. You know the campaigns that are driving revenue. You know the ads. All of it is extremely trackable, and Google Ads has a lot of great built-in integration. So it can connect with Salesforce, it can connect with Google Analytics. So you have a lot of options in terms of getting your data into your different CRM platforms. So it's really great from a tracking perspective, Google Ads. And you can layer this in with other programs like Wicked Reports, and you can get a lot more granular in terms of how your ads are performing. This is with most platforms, but Google Ads specifically, they have a lot of great built-in integrations that are just ready and able for you to use. So that's something I really like about paid search and Google Ads specifically. The next one is with Google Ads and Bing Ads, really just paid search in general, is you have so much control. I feel like as Google advertisers, if you start off learning Google Ads or Bing Ads first on the paid search, if you're a paid search marketer, you learn to become a control freak in a way, because you understand that when it comes to paid search, relevance is the game, and you want to make sure you're organizing your campaigns in a way that makes sense so that you can organize your ad groups with relevant keywords and ads so you can maximize your quality score. So you have a lot of control as a paid search marketer versus maybe if you start off on the social side of things, you're a lot more comfortable letting Facebook take over, leaning into the algorithm and things like that. But really the biggest thing with paid search is you have so much control. You can literally break your campaigns out by device, income levels, demographics. I mean, it's pretty insane the amount of control that you have with paid search. And really most digital advertising platforms and networks, Facebook included, you have a lot of control. Facebook has been definitely going through the wire though with, everything going on in Congress and then removing advertising capabilities. But for the most part, Google Ads has been pretty strong in terms of targeting and tracking for a while now. So that's something I really like about it. It's very stable. It's actually one of the oldest, if not the oldest, platform of all of them. So a lot of control on paid search, Google Ads specifically. Bing Ads, same thing as well. Bing Ads, basically, if you've ever ran Bing Ads before, they basically copy and just clone whatever Google Ads is doing. If you look at their new user interface too, it basically looks the same way as Google Ads. And I appreciate that because, at least they don't try to hide the fact that they're a clone of Google Ads, and it makes my life easier as an advertiser to be able to find everything I'm looking for. Because sometimes platforms will change the names of things just to make it sound different, but it's really the same thing, and it just makes all our lives harder to find what we need, right? So tangent aside, a lot of control on paid search, really great for us to be able to get our ad in front of the right person. The other thing with paid search that I really like is it's the easiest channel, in my opinion, to get conversions outside of paid review channels. So paid review channels being if you're running ads on any sort of listing. So for example, if you're running ads, Yelp ads, if you're in B2C, those people are going to Yelp just like they go to Google because they're looking for a solution to their problem. If you're in B2C, maybe you're a med spa and you're running Yelp ads to get in front of people who are looking for Juvederm, cool sculpting treatments, that kind of stuff. If you're in B2B and you're a SaaS company, a lot of my clients are in the software space. We run a lot of ads on Capterra or G2 because these are software marketplaces where people go to buy software. So it's just like search in the sense of there's a lot of intention built up on those platforms. So outside of paid review, I feel like, in my opinion, paid search is just one of the easiest channels to conversion. They already have the problem. You don't need to convince them. They're going to search for the solution. And if you can just get your ad to show up at the top of the page, meet them halfway, not mess it up with a bad landing page and get them through the door, then you're going to have the highest quality lead possible because they have that intention already built in. So in my opinion, paid search is the easiest channel in conversion. If you start off, by the way, learning Google ads first or Bing ads first, and you're on the paid search side of things, you almost get spoiled because it's so easy to convert people as long as you're following, the best practices, and you're not sending them to your homepage on your website where there's like a million distractions. You're sending them to like a conversion focused landing page. It's a pretty linear relationship from click to conversion versus when you expand outside of paid search and now you start to go to things like social or display. Now it really forces you as a marketer to get smarter, in my opinion, and to really understand psychology more and the buyer's journey and being able to move people from awareness to consideration to decision. Because with paid search, we're kind of spoiled where we're going straight to the bottom of the funnel of people who are already looking for a solution to their problem. So rant aside, I think paid search is one of the easiest channels to convert people outside of paid review as well. Hey, how's it going, Massim? Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. And those of you who are joining live, I see a couple of you joining in now. Welcome, guys. We're talking about the good and the bad of paid search. So that's the good side of things. Now, in terms of the bad, because there's always two sides to every coin, right? If somebody just tells you Google ads is the best channel ever and there's nothing to worry about, they're full of it. Just like with Facebook ads or any other platform out there, there's always a good and a bad to everything. And ideally, in my opinion, is you should have a holistic view with your paid advertising where you have ads running in multiple platforms on Facebook, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, all these different channels, so that way you can diversify your traffic. So if one goes down, you're protected and you have all these other things. And you should also have organic traffic coming into your business as well that you can leverage with retargeting and all this other good stuff. So definitely make sure you're diversifying your portfolio. It's really important. Now, in terms of the bad, when it comes to paid search, there is some fierce competition and some increased costs because of that. So the Google Ads auction place, the Bing Ads auction place, these search engines are auction places. And what you have is you have all these advertisers saying, hey, I want to show up on the top of the page when someone searches these keywords. And you have all these different people fighting. I like to think of it like a battleground. They're literally fighting to show up on the top of the page when someone searches their keywords. So when you have a reduction in supply, meaning the amount of keywords available, and an increase in demand because everybody wants to show up, you're going to get increased prices. And depending on the industry you're in, you've probably gone to the Google Ads Keyword Planner, searched some of your dream keywords that you want to show up for, and you notice that your cost per click price that Google is estimating is pretty freaking expensive. And that's the biggest drawback to Google Ads is as time progresses and more businesses move their budgets online, which there's still a lot of businesses out there that are behind the curve. And as more and more of them move it online and they start to invest in Google Ads, and they start to bid on those keywords that you're bidding on in the same locations you're trying to target, the prices will just continue to rise. It's just inevitable. So that's the biggest drawback of Google Ads, is the barrier to entry might be a lot higher for you. So I'll give you a very specific example. If you're in the legal space, if you're a divorce attorney, a family attorney, a personal injury attorney, your cost per click price could be easily $100 a click. Now you might hear that and you're like, oh my goodness, how can anybody make that work? And there's a lot more to it than that. You know, you have to take into fact the lifetime value of your client, the average. There's a lot more to it, and I can make a video on that if you guys want to know more about that, on how your competitors are able to outspend you on online advertising. You can just drop that in the comments and I'll make a follow-up video on that. But basically, that's the biggest drawback with paid search, is it's pretty expensive in comparison to like Facebook ads. Even though Facebook ads, you can see the same trend happening there. Prices are starting to increase. It's just going to be, it's inevitable with any platform. So that's the number one drawback of Google Ads, is the competition is pretty fierce and costs are going to continue to rise. The next one with paid search specifically, the biggest drawback in my opinion, is you're going to hit a scaling wall pretty fast, meaning you're not going to be able to get it in front of any more additional people. You're going to tap out pretty quickly. How quickly you tap out depends on your location targeting and the products and services that you're trying to promote. Everyone's different. For example, if you're a local business only showing ads to people within your city for a very specific service, you might tap out at $15 a day. Especially with coronavirus and businesses being affected and less people going outside, you can bet that that's having an effect on search volume. So you can scale out pretty quickly because there's only so many people looking for your product or service in your area. So the tighter your location targeting, the quicker you're going to hit this scaling wall that I'm talking about. And it's different for everybody. And you just have to launch your campaigns and then you'll know what it is for you. And the way you know how much room you have left in terms of scale for your campaign is using the impression share metrics, just in case you're curious. And I did a video on how to outrank the competition where I talk about impression share metrics and everything that goes into that. So definitely check out that video. Now, the next drawback with Google Ads and Bing Ads and just paid search in general is click fraud. Click fraud is real. It's real. It doesn't happen all the time. In my opinion, in my experience, I feel like Google is pretty good and Bing is pretty good at catching it, and they'll refund any fraudulent clicks, and you can check in your transaction history any clicks that you've been refunded if you want to check that out in your account in your billing section. But it's real. And if you notice that you have some fraudulent behavior going on in your account, some common symptoms are you're always getting a consistent amount of clicks every day, and then it literally just doubles consistently day over day for, let's say, a week. That's probably a sign of fraudulent activity, and the fact that you kept the same budget. So there are tools out there that you can use for click fraud if you notice that this is something that you really suffer with. I don't have any of them to recommend to you right now, but definitely do your research online and see. One that does come to mind is ClickCease, but I haven't really looked into them too much, so I don't know if they're the best choice for you, but there are tools out there that you can use if you do experience click fraud in your industry. I got a couple questions here. If possible, share some tips and tricks about shopping ads. So Massam, I am pretty exclusive on the lead generation side of things. So when it comes to like e-commerce advertising, I'm not your guy. Pretty much my whole obsession and focus is on lead generation, so client acquisition. So when it comes to shopping ads, I think there's definitely better people out there to learn from for specifically e-commerce related searches and campaigns and things like that. And then the last one, the biggest drawback when it comes to paid search advertising is it's extremely easy to burn money. Again, with this fierce competition and increased costs, you got to be very careful on what you're doing. So make sure you invest in your Google Ads education, or make sure you invest in somebody that can run your Google Ads campaigns for you, because if you're paying $50 a click in some cases, you can imagine how quickly that can get out of control if you're not too careful. So that's just the last one, is to be very, very mindful and considerate of the danger and the power that is search advertising, because it can easily go, you know, you always hear the nightmare stories of people who they ran ads and they blew their budget like within a day or a couple hours, whatever it might be, and it's real. So just make sure you educate yourself. I have tons of videos on my channel that can help you with Google Ads specifically and paid search. There's also tons of other great YouTubers on YouTube that can help you, that have awesome content. There's Facebook groups, there's courses. So just make sure you educate yourself if you're going to do it yourself. If you want to learn more about Google Ads specifically, highly recommend you join my Facebook group. It's called the Google Ads Pro Community on Facebook. It's free. More than happy to help you out. But just get the education you need so that you can approach it with the game plan. And that's it for this video. I hope you got tremendous value out of it. Thank you so much for those who are here live. Really happy to have you here. Hope you got great value out of this video. If you can give this video a thumbs up, that'll help me out a ton to get it ranked higher in the search engines. If you like content like this on digital advertising, definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel for future updates. And if you want to learn more about paid search, definitely check out the Google Ads Pro Facebook group, and I'll link that down below. And I'll see you in the next video.